Okay, welcome back. So now that you have created your project, go ahead and click on the choice for bibliography. Now, your bibliography page will go ahead and launch, and as you can see, you can go ahead and switch back to MLA 6, APA, or Chicago Turabian from this page as well. Just as I promised you in the last video, you can change your mind at any time. And so, if you're going through this video with me and you actually need to do APA, then you can go ahead and go through doing MLA 7 and then switch to APA at the end, or you can go ahead and switch now, whatever works best for you. Now, when you're making your bibliography, you're probably going to need to have a mixture of books and online journals and databases and online research. Most professors and teachers are going to see a pretty even mix amongst those things. But for the purposes of this video, I'm going to show you how to use the research beta of Easybib. And this is to find online resources, such as websites. And that's what you'll see is the choice right here on this tab. Now, if you have a book or a newspaper or a journal or an online database, then there are tabs for that as well. And we're going to talk about that in the next video. But first things first, go ahead and click on the research beta tab, which in the future may no longer say beta. Okay, so then you'll get a search bar, and you'll need to go ahead and type in what it is that you're doing your research paper on. Okay, so what you'll see up here is a search bar, not unlike a Google search bar. And so I'm just going to go ahead and paste, but you should type in the name of your topic and then hit search. And what you'll get is a list of online resources, websites, and so forth. And what you'll see is you'll see a determination of whether or not the website is considered credible or not. Like the first one that comes up is a Wikipedia page. And most professors and teachers are not going to allow you to use Wikipedia for many different and really good reasons. And so you'll see that that's listed as maybe credible. Maybe credible is a good enough reason to not use it at all. And then this next one, you can see it's been cited 229 times, and it is marked as credible. So that would be a good site to use. And then you can see that this next one has been cited on Easybib 910 times, but it's marked as maybe credible. So really, those 910 people probably shouldn't have used this site. So if you go ahead and follow the link to the site, then it, may have something that you need for your paper. And if you decide to use any quotes or anything from this website, then the nice thing is, and so this is in a separate tab now, that you can go back and then you can hit this button, the Cite It button, and it'll go ahead and put that directly into the boxes to create your citation. And pretty much everything is filled in. You'll see that there's no author here. And so what you need to do is you need to go back to the site to see if you can find one, because often the autofill features on Easybib are great, but students will take it for granted that if something's missing that it can't be found. But what you need to do is you need to go back and you need to see if it can be found. Because just because Easybib didn't find it doesn't mean that it's not there. So I'm taking a look. This is going to be a list of authors and titles. Yeah, Bartleby.com is going to be a lot like an online encyclopedia, and so typically they have a large amount of editors, and so no one editor is typically given. So I think we can be pretty confident that there's not going to be an author to be found. But everything else has been filled in for you, including the date that it was accessed. And there was no electronic publishing date. You would normally see that at the bottom of the page if there was one. Let's go back and double check. It says 1993 through 2013. I think that it might not be a bad idea to go ahead and put in 1993. Anything that you can add that you can find on your own is something that you probably want to do. And as you can see, your full citation is popping up here the whole time. As I added that information, it showed me where it would go. And so I can go ahead and hit Create Citation, and that's going to roll directly into my bibliography. So let's go back to the research beta, and that's in a separate tab at this point. And so you can see that there are even some sites that are marked as not credible, and that means that you should definitely go nowhere near them. But again, as you can see, at least 930 people made the mistake of using that resource anyway. So if you'll scroll back up to the top, you can see that you have some online resources, but there's another tab called Academic Resources. If you click on that, then what you're going to get is something that is far more narrow. These are sites that, and they're online sites, but they're sites that are considered academic sites, so more like an online encyclopedia or so forth. And you can also see that every single one of those is considered credible. So let's click on this first one. And what you actually have here is an online journal article, and you have one page of it, unfortunately. But if you scroll back up, you can see that there is a download option for $4 or a read online option for free. I can't imagine why you would pay the $4. But also, if you take a look over here to the right, you can see the resource. And this is actually an article from the magazine, the Modern Language Association. You know, the same people who make all the rules to write your research paper. So while a lot of those websites are listed as credible and would be fine to use on a paper, this is actually a magazine. This is a journal, and it's an academic journal. So this would be an even better resource than some of those online articles. So the great thing is that it also has all of the publishing information right here that you would need for your bibliography. But if you go back to the research beta, and all of these open in a separate tab so it's easy to go back, rather than building that yourself from all of this information, which is totally doable, instead you can just go ahead and hit the Cited button. And this time, because there was an author, there typically is when it is an academic journal, every bit of necessary information has been filled in. Now we don't have the electronic publishing date because it was a real journal article. Well, that makes the internet sound like it's not real. It was originally a printed article, and so what you have is you have that information up here instead, the journal publication information. And a lot of these journals really have been converted to online. They're easy to get to, and the information is considered very high quality. So that is probably a preferable way to go to a lot of the websites. So then you go ahead and hit Create Citation. Oh, and I probably want to show you that it does say it was online. It was also in print. But if you go ahead and hit Create Citation, then it pops into your bibliography as well. And one of the nice things to note is that a bibliography and a works cited page are always supposed to be in alphabetical order, and they're supposed to have this thing called a hanging indent, where the first line sticks out further than the second or the third, as opposed to the other kind of indent where that first line is in a little bit. And so it's doing all of that for you automatically. And so you already have two resources for your bibliography, things that you can go back and look through. So if I go back to this, I can hit Read Online. Well, it does want me to register, but it's probably worth it. And then the nice thing is that if I find something that I like, I can cut and paste directly from here to make my notes, which is going to be in one of the follow-up videos. So that's how to use the online research beta, which is a great way to make sure that you can tell if a website that you're using is credible and a great way to access online journals and databases if you don't have any way to access those directly, either through your school's website or perhaps a membership on some kind of an account. All right, see you in the next video.